Pono with everyone. The word Pono, you can see right under that, it says just be right with everyone. So I have a few questions that you can ask yourself this morning. Are you at peace or Pono with God? Okay? Are you at peace or Pono with your ohana or your family? Are you at peace or Pono with your everyone or with everyone? And it's important because when you don't do your best to live at peace with everyone. Because you know, the moment you're not right with somebody, who does it affect? It affects you. You know, do your best. I'm not saying it's always possible, but do your best to live Pono with everybody. It's something that the Hawaiians always talk about and always practice. It's even in our state motto, this idea of being Pono, being right with God, right with each other. And it's important because when you're not right or when you're not at peace with your family members, there's nothing worse inside a home, right? When Peggy and I don't have peace or we're not right with each other, it's tough. Especially when it's inside your front door. It's tough. And then beyond your front door, there's your extended family. It's tough, even when you're extended family. You're having troubles with them. It's really tough. And it just wears on you. I know that every time we go through that, I go through that, I just go, man, it's not supposed to be like this. Why is it like this? We should talk and communicate, resolve things. There should be acceptance and understanding and forgiveness and all of these things that are so important. But man, there's just this tension, this awkwardness. Everybody's kind of digging in their heels instead of humbling themselves and making things right with each other. Okay, so be Pono with everyone. When I talk about contend, I say even fight or strive for these three things. Strive for healing, strive for communication, and strive for understanding. And understanding is just compassion. Listening to somebody and feeling their pain, going, okay, I didn't know you felt like that. Let's make things Pono. Let's make things right. Because so many times they're like, oh, you just don't understand. You don't know what they're going through. You're just thinking about yourself. Well, this is how I feel. But what about what they're going through? That's understanding and compassion. Think through that. What is it that they're going through and how? Where is the compromise? Or how can we come into agreement with each other so that this is made Pono or right? And it's important, you guys, right now. That's why we're going to have this time at the end. Some of the things that will keep you from being Pono are these things. Pain, anger, unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is resentment, bitterness, spite, animosity. The bitterness, in Hebrews it says that there's a root of bitterness. And you know what a root is? A root is something that you can't see. It's under the ground. But how do you know it's bitter? Well, it continues to produce something out of the tree. And you're like, oh man, the root of bitterness is going to reveal the fruit of bitterness. And so you hear it in the tone. You hear it in cutting remarks. You hear it in just being treated wrong. You hear it like, that's what the root of bitterness looks like in a relationship. And you're like, man, why are you making it? Why is it like that? Why are you treating me like that? Because there's a root, there's something inside that's bitter. And it keeps coming out, and keeps coming out, and keeps coming out, and keeps coming out. God needs to remove or wants to remove that root of bitterness. It's a root. It needs to go. Just like you pull a weed, you need to get rid of that root of bitterness. Okay? There's this next one. It says in James chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, we're going to talk about the source of the fights and the quarrels. Where do you think all these appalling wars and quarrels come from? There's a personal truth and a global truth to what we're about to read. Do you think that they just happened? Think again. They come about because you want your own way. And you fight for it deep inside yourselves. You lust for what you don't have, and you're willing to kill to get it. You want what isn't yours, and you risk violence to get your hands on it. How crazy is that, you guys? How crazy. The Bible's telling you what the source of the fighting and the quarreling is. All we got to do is watch the news. And we see it at every single level. We see this, right? You want your own way. You lust for what you don't have. You're willing to kill. And we see this all throughout the world. Wars are happening. Why? Because of this very truth. People are fighting in their homes and all across the world because of what? Because they want their own way. They lust or they desire for what they don't have and they're willing to kill. And you guys, that's a sad thing. Things need to change. Things need to change. And so, the question, the final question that I have for you guys is this. It says, are you fighting for or with your family? It's funny, because if somebody were to attack your family, what would you do? If somebody came and said, hey, I'm going to physically harm Peggy, Kayla, Keone, or Cabela, I would do everything in my might to stop it. I would do everything in my might to stop it. It's funny, because I'll fight for it, but it's, are you fighting for or with your family? Because it's time. It's time. It's time to fight for one another instead of with one another. It's old, guys. That cycle is old. It's a repeated pattern in our lives, and that's old. And we need to get rid of that stuff because it's not helping us. It's not helping our family. And so at the very end, all I did is may today be the beginning of your new season.